the president. Also breaking in a deal with prosecutors, the parent company of the National Enquirer is admitting its role in one of Cohen's crimes involving the hush money payoff to a Playboy model. And Laura, Southern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern, is making no bones about it, that this was a violation of U.S. campaign finance law. What stands out to you as part of this agreement that was just announced?
Well, the idea that Michael Cohen has pled guilty to what they know was a crime, and somebody who was involved in facilitating it got an immunity deal out of the whole thing, and now not to get prosecuted at all. We knew that David Pecker, who was talked about in that now infamous recording that was recorded by Michael Cohen about Alan Weisselberg, the head money guy for Trump Organization, along with David Pecker, and talking about all the different stories he implied, the idea of if he ever got hit by a bus, everything should be taken care of at once. We know that he, shortly after Michael Cohen pled guilty, had an immunity deal. So you have to wonder, how much was he cooperative and forthcoming about things they could never have known otherwise? That's the only way you would foreclose the opportunity to give a prosecution immunity deal to somebody.
Right. And David Pecker, the head of American Media, the parent company of the National Enquirer, he got an immunity deal. Alan Weisselberg, the chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, got an immunity deal. Michael Cohen, he used to secretly record conversations that he had, including with the President of the United States. And CNN obtained one of those conversations in which he talks about Alan Weisselberg and these hush money payoffs. Listen to this.
And I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with funding. Yes. And it's all the stuff.
And the assumption is that that's just one of many secretly recorded phone conversations that Michael Cohen had, and now the federal prosecutors presumably have all of them.
Well, don't forget, they raided his offices. They've got everything they need, and more. and so you have a president who has said, first of all, that he didn't know about this, right? And look at where we are now. Today he's saying it's peanuts. He went from, I didn't know about it. You have recorded conversations about how you're going to do this payoff. You have his good friend, Mr. Pecker, and AMI saying, yes, we did this to influence the election. You have Michael Cohen testifying to that. The president now is kind of in a pickle here because everybody else is saying this is what happened, except for the president of the United States. And you can argue the seriousness of this campaign finance violation, but you can't argue that all of these people are saying the president knew about it. He either directed it or participated in it.
Prosecutors don't give immunity lightly.
No, that's true. If you look at why they gave immunity here, they had to, let's play the scales of justice here. You want to decide who's more significant in this case, the president's personal lawyer who knows about payments or AMI, the media company that knows about payments. You're walking in there saying, I don't know if I trust Michael Flynn. I would easily go to the National Enquirer and say, you're going to get immunity. By the way, I think it worked. They must have gone in, that is the prosecutors, to Michael Cohen and said, we know about what you did to pay off those women. Let it out. The other thing I'd close is people aren't paying attention. There's another line in the documents that have come out, and that is there's a second campaign person in those meetings.
Absolutely.
I assume AMI, the media company, is talking about that second person. Who is it?
We're trying to find out, honestly.
I want it now, Gloria.
If you find out, let us know. What's your bottom line on this?
The president and his supporters like to talk about the president being able to play three-dimensional chess. It's the prosecutors in the Southern District of New York and the special counsel investigation that are playing three-dimensional chess. To Phil's point, you give immunity to David Pecker. He presumably corroborates everything Michael Cohen pleaded to in his agreement. If that's true, at a minimum, right, the president can still say it wasn't a campaign finance violation, but he can't say he didn't lie to the American people about payments made to alleged mistresses.
Yeah, remember, Alan Weisselberg been with the Trump Organization, chief financial officer for 40 years, so he knows a lot. He has immunity.